So does this sequence, so sequence means that it's a list of numbers. It goes forever. The numbers are generated by n squared and cosine of n. And then I have a feeling this is going to say diverge because cosine goes up and down and up and down, and that is one of the possibilities for diverge. So to converge means it moves down to a certain answer and stays at that level. Diverge means it goes up and down between different values, or it takes off and goes to infinity. So let's see, with this one, well, this is a parabola, n squared is a parabola. What does multiplying it by cosine do? So if we've got x squared and then cosine of x and have x go out 0 to 35 sounds fine. The y values, let's see. Well, since they're squared, we don't really need negatives. Oh, but cosine can be negative, so we probably should have some negatives. Negative 5 to 5? Let's see. Oh, wow. That's interesting. So then what's happening is the bounciness of cosine, bouncing up and down, is sort of being multiplied by this. Or in other words, it's like cosine has had too much coffee. How about if we go negative 10 to 10? It's really jumping really big. Okay, how about if we go negative 50 to 50? Ah. So this function is not only bouncing up and down, but it's doing so bigger and bigger and bigger. That's like an example of both of it's like a double diverge. It not only bounces around, but eventually it's going to infinity. It's a double diverger. So this diverges. You could also look at the table of values and see that, so it bounces to the negative. Here it bounces to negative 2500, and then it bounces to positive almost 3000, and then it bounces to negative hundreds, and then to positive almost 4000. It's bouncing all around. So this definitely diverges. But I want to show you, with just a small change, a very important idea. What if this was a negative 2? So let me insert a negative, and then change the window. 0 to 35 sounds right. And then this is going to be more like negative 2 to 2. It doesn't like that, so let me rewrite it as x to the negative 2 cosine So then what's happened is almost the opposite. It started off really hyper, and then it calmed right down. So I guess I could change this to something smaller. I could zoom in. So then what's happening is cosine does have its bounciness. So cosine is trying to bounce up and down. But by having this means divide. So then I'm dividing by x squares. So if you take cosine, let's say, is equal to a positive 1 at some point, you're then dividing by something squared, like 2 pi squared. So it's dividing out the bounciness of cosine. But when this was a positive, then it was actually multiplying or making the bounciness even worse. So this one, the way that it is diverge.